When you open your eyes in the morning, before your feet touch the floor, and before your mind starts racing with responsibilities, worries, and plans, pause for a moment and recognize what has just happened. You have been given a gift. This breath you're taking right now is not automatic. It is mercy. This new day is not guaranteed. It is grace. Gratitude is not just saying thank you. Gratitude is awareness. It's realizing that the fact you woke up means God still has purpose for your life. If your assignment was finished, you wouldn't be here. So the morning itself is a message that heaven is not done with you yet. Too many people start their day by checking their phone, replaying yesterday's problems, or worrying about what might go wrong. But when you start with gratitude, you reset your perspective. You move from survival mode into faith mode. You stop asking, what do I have to face today? And you start declaring, I'm thankful I get to live this day. Gratitude changes the atmosphere of your heart. It softens anxiety, quiets fear, and makes room for peace to settle in before the noise begins. When you thank God in the morning, you're not denying the challenges ahead. You're declaring that the challenges do not have the final word. Gratitude reminds you that the same God who carried you through yesterday is already present in today. Think about it. You survived nights you thought would break you, seasons you did think you'd outlast, moments when you felt weak, confused, and overwhelmed. And yet, here you are. Gratitude connects you to that truth. It builds confidence, not in yourself alone, but in the faithfulness of God. Gratitude also aligns your heart with expectation. When you thank God for what you already have, you position yourself to receive what is coming next. A thankful heart is open, teachable, and ready. Complaining closes doors, but gratitude opens them. It invites clarity, favor, and direction into your day. Even if nothing around you has changed yet, something within you begins to shift. And that inner shift often becomes the starting point of outer breakthrough. This morning, you may not have all the answers, but you have a reason to be grateful. You may not feel strong, but you are still standing. You may not know how everything will work out, but you know who holds the day in his hands. So begin right here. Thank him for life. Thank him for breath. Thank him for another opportunity to grow, to heal, to move forward. Because when gratitude becomes your first response, blessing becomes your daily atmosphere. After gratitude settles your heart, the next powerful step is to open your mouth and declare what kind of day this will be. The morning is not just a moment in time, it is a spiritual doorway. What you speak as you step into it matters more than you realize. Words are not empty sounds. They carry direction, authority, and intention. Before circumstances start talking to you, you need to talk to your day. You need to decide in faith what will lead and what will not. Too often people wake up and speak without thinking. They say things like, this is going to be a hard day, or I'm already tired, or nothing ever works out for me. Those words don't just describe feelings, they plant seeds. And whatever you plant early tends to grow throughout the day. But when you choose to declare blessings, you are planting something different. You are saying, today I walk in peace. Today I am guided. Today I am protected. Today favor goes before me. You may not feel it yet, but faith doesn't wait for feelings. Faith speaks first. Declaring blessings is not pretending problems don't exist. It is deciding that problems will not define your day. You are aligning your words with heaven's perspective instead of earth's pressure. When you speak life, strength rises. When you speak peace, chaos loses its grip. When you speak favor, opportunities begin to recognize you. Your declarations may sound simple, but they are powerful because they come from trust, not fear. Think about how often fear speaks loudest in the morning. Fear tells you what could go wrong, what you're not ready for, who might disappoint you. But declarations silence fear. When you declare God's protection, fear loses authority. When you declare wisdom, confusion steps back. When you declare joy, heaviness has no place to stay. Your voice, filled with faith, becomes a boundary the enemy cannot easily cross. And here's the key. You don't have to declare long prayers or perfect words. Even simple, honest declarations carry power when they come from belief. Saying, God, I trust you with this day, can realign your entire mindset. Saying, I am not alone today, can lift a weight you've been carrying for weeks. Your morning words become the framework for how you respond when challenges appear later. As the day unfolds, situations will try to pull you back into doubt or frustration. But what you declared in the morning becomes an anchor. You remember what you spoke, and instead of reacting in panic, you respond in faith. That's how peace stays with you. That's how confidence grows. That's how your day begins to reflect what you believed before you saw it. So speak blessings boldly, even when your voice feels quiet. Declare strength when you feel weak. Declare hope when answers are unclear. Because when you align your words with faith, you don't just face the day, you lead it. As the morning continues, after gratitude has grounded you, and your words have set the direction, there is one more decision that shapes everything else. Choosing to trust God with what you do not yet understand. Every day carries unknowns. You don't know every conversation you'll have, every challenge you'll face, or every door that may open or close. And if you try to control all of it, your heart will carry a weight it was never meant to hold. Trust is not weakness. Trust is wisdom. It is the decision to place the unseen into hands greater than your own. Many people wake up already tense because they are trying to solve tomorrow before today has even begun. Their mind runs ahead, replaying worst-case scenarios, imagining outcomes that haven't happened yet. But faith pulls you back into the present moment. Faith says, I don't need to know everything because I know who is guiding me. When you surrender the unknown, peace replaces pressure. You stop forcing answers and start allowing direction. Trusting God with the unknown does not mean you stop planning or stop caring. It means you release the illusion of control. You do your part, but you don't carry the outcome as a burden. You understand that not every delay is a denial, and not every closed door is a failure. Some things are being protected from you, and some things are being prepared for you. Trust allows you to rest in that truth instead of fighting it. There will be moments today when things don't go as expected. A plan may change. A response may not come. An opportunity may take longer than you hoped. And in those moments, your trust is tested. But this is where morning faith becomes daily strength. Because when you started your day by placing it in God's hands, you don't panic when surprises appear. You remember that nothing catches him off guard, even when it catches you off guard. Trust also frees you from fear of the future. Fear always asks, what if? Faith answers, even then, God is still faithful. You may not see how everything will work out, but trust reminds you that you don't walk alone into uncertainty. The same presence that woke you up this morning walks with you into every unknown space. That awareness brings calm, clarity, and courage. Sometimes, the greatest blessing of trust is not the change of circumstances, but the change of heart. You become less anxious, more patient, more open to divine timing. You stop rushing what needs to grow and stop worrying about what is still forming. Trust teaches you to move step by step instead of demanding the whole picture at once. So this morning, release what you cannot control. Hand over the questions, the worries, the outcomes, and the timelines. Let God carry what you were never meant to carry alone, because when you trust Him with the unknown, you walk into the day unburdened and unafraid. As the day begins to unfold, there is a choice you get to make before pressure starts knocking on your door. You can allow the weight of expectations, deadlines, and demands to control your spirit, or you can decide to walk in peace. Peace is not the absence of challenges, it is the presence of trust in the middle of them. The world will try to rush you, rush your decisions, rush your emotions, but peace slows your heart, so you can move with wisdom instead of panic. Pressure often disguises itself as urgency. It tells you everything must be fixed immediately, that you must have all the answers right now, that if you don't react fast, you'll fall behind. Peace reminds you that you are not late, you are not lacking, and you are not alone. When you choose peace in the morning, you give yourself permission to breathe, to think clearly, and to respond thoughtfully throughout the day. Choosing peace does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means refusing to let responsibility turn into anxiety. You can be committed without being consumed. You can be focused without being frantic. Peace creates space for clarity, and clarity leads to better decisions, healthier conversations, and stronger outcomes. Many problems escalate not because they are too big, but because they are approached with a restless heart. The truth is, pressure drains your strength, but peace restores it. Pressure makes you reactive, but peace makes you responsive. When something unexpected happens, pressure pushes you toward frustration or fear. Peace, on the other hand, allows you to pause and ask, what is the wise next step? That pause is powerful. It protects your words, your relationships, and your mindset. There will be voices today that try to steal your peace, situations that test your patience, people who misunderstand you, circumstances that don't move as fast as you'd like. But peace is not something others give you, and it is not something they can take away unless you hand it over. Peace is a decision you guard. When you decide in the morning that your heart will remain steady, you carry that decision into every moment that follows. Peace also keeps you grounded in faith. When you are at peace, you remember that God is still in control even when things feel uncertain. You stop measuring your day by how smooth it is and start measuring it by how faithful you remain. And that shift changes everything. You realize that your calm can be a testimony, your patience can be a strength, and your quiet confidence can speak louder than stress ever could. So as you move through this day, don't rush your spirit to match the pace of the world. Walk steadily. Breathe deeply. Choose peace over pressure. Because a peaceful heart is a powerful heart, and it will carry you further than stress ever could. When you step into the day with gratitude, speak blessings over your path, trust God with the unknown, and choose peace over pressure, something powerful begins to rise within you. You start to walk with purpose and confidence. Not the kind of confidence that comes from pride or self-reliance, but the quiet strength that comes from knowing you are guided. Purpose gives direction to your steps, and confidence gives courage to your heart. Together, they keep you moving forward, even when the road feels unfamiliar. Too many people wake up feeling unsure of themselves, questioning their worth, their ability, or their place in the world. But purpose reminds you that your life is not random. You were created intentionally, and this day is not an accident. There is meaning in where you are, even if you don't fully understand it yet. When you remember that, you stop shrinking back and start stepping forward. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else's. Your path is yours, and it unfolds at the pace designed for you. Confidence grows When you stop focusing on what you lack and start recognizing what has been placed within you. You may not have every resource, but you have enough for today. You may not feel fully ready, but readiness often comes after obedience, not before it. When you take steps in faith, strength meets you along the way. Purpose doesn't demand perfection. It responds to willingness. Walking with purpose also changes how you handle challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as signs to stop, you begin to see them as moments to grow. You understand that resistance does not mean you are off track. Sometimes it means you are moving in the right direction. Confidence keeps you from quitting too early. It reminds you that setbacks are not statements about your future, but part of the process shaping you for what's ahead. As you move through the day, confidence keeps your posture upright, both physically and spiritually. You speak with assurance. You act with intention. You don't rush to please everyone or explain yourself to those who don't understand your journey. When you know who you are and why you are here, you don't need constant approval. You walk steadily, trusting that each step matters. Purpose also brings focus. It helps you say no to distractions that drain you and yes to opportunities that align with your calling. Instead of feeling scattered, you become centered. Instead of feeling lost, you feel led. Even simple tasks take on new meaning when you see them as part of something bigger. So today, walk with your head lifted and your heart steady. You are not wandering aimlessly, and you are not walking alone. You are moving forward with purpose, guided by faith and strengthened by confidence that comes from knowing you were made for this moment. As you come to the final moments of your morning blessing, there is one last posture that completes everything you have already set in motion: expectation. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is faith looking forward. It is the quiet confidence that says goodness will meet me today. When you expect good things, you don't walk through the day guarded by fear. You walk open to possibility. You begin to notice opportunities you would have missed, strength you didn't know you had, and moments of favor that arrive right on time. Expectation changes how you see the day ahead. Instead of waking up braced for disappointment, you rise believing that something meaningful can happen. That shift alone lifts your spirit. You stop assuming the worst and start believing that God is actively involved in the details of your life. You may not know how or when, but expectation tells you that goodness is not behind you. It is ahead of you. When you expect good things, your attitude changes. You become more patient, more hopeful, more resilient. You don't crumble at the first delay, because you believe something better is still unfolding. Even when challenges appear, expectation keeps you steady. You don't deny the difficulty, but you also don't let it define the outcome. You understand that a difficult moment can still lead to a meaningful result. Expectation also sharpens your awareness. You begin to recognize small blessings that once went unnoticed. A timely conversation, a moment of peace, an unexpected solution. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that goodness often arrives quietly. When your heart is expecting, you don't overlook these moments. You receive them with gratitude and faith. There will be times today when doubt tries to creep in, when things don't move as fast as you hoped or answers seem delayed. But expectation holds you in faith during the waiting. It reminds you that just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it isn't working. Some blessings are forming beneath the surface, and patience is part of the process. Expectation also protects your joy. When you believe that goodness is following you, you don't allow temporary setbacks to steal your peace. You trust that what is meant for you will reach you at the right time. That belief keeps your heart light and your spirit strong. So as you step fully into this day, carry expectation with you. Look for goodness, anticipate favor. Believe that doors can open, answers can come, and strength will rise when you need it. Walk forward knowing that today is not empty or ordinary. Goodness is already on its way to meet you.